Yeah.
Welcome on all to Geek, to your latest edition to the news, reviews and interviews across all things geeky and nerdy across all spectrums. This is a first of many, I say second actually at this point, podcasts. So we have our very own man here called Keiran MacDonald. How are you doing?
I'm hot. And not in the sense that everyone thinks. It's so warm right now. Oh my
I expect
God.
your wife begs to differ on that one.
Oh, well, questionably, yes. Functionally, I'm not so sure. Yes, otherwise I am well. I hope you are well as well.
Oh, God, I'm like you, absolutely belting hot here. It's ridiculous. I'm looking at my phone's sort of saying one thing, 16 degrees, and it says 20 degrees. I'm like, there is no way on God's earth it is that temperature.
It's amazing. We're on opposite sides of the UK right now, and it's apparently 22 with a high of 26 where I am. It's fucking baking, and if I go to my bedroom... This has
been the hottest day. Definitely been the hottest day, because I have noticed that literally every room in the house, even with the windows open, even with a fan on, the fan's not hardly touching it. Oh, it's crazy. This is why I keep mixing my words up and I'm losing concentration whilst the sweat drips from my brow.
It's like something out of a movie, like Airplane.
It's crazy stuff. But yeah, so E3. We thought we'd do some coverage of E3. We can't be geeks without covering E3. I think that's a given.
It's pretty much the given, yeah.
Pretty big news on the whole gaming front, I suppose. So obviously, Keiran, you've been paying some close attention to a number of things at E3. What's tickled your fancy?
I paid a small amount of attention in about 25 minutes this morning after I woke up. This was literally scrabbled together. So, if you've been following any form of E3 over the years, you know that E3 is huge. It's supposed to be the biggest thing in gaming, and from what I've seen, it's not good. But the one thing the heat gets to you, it's the brain melts. I did actually see some pretty really cool stuff that wasn't mainline. Now, Devolver. We've all heard of Devolver.
Yes.
Maybe, possibly, if you play any other games, then you may have not. But they have taken a massive gut punch to the whole subscription service with Max Pass Plus. There was a whole video that they did. It was scripted to fuck. It was hilarious. And it really did just give the left hook and then the right hook and then just beat things to the ground.
Aren't you just describing the entirety of E3? Because I always feel like it's very badly scripted and very sort of,
I mean, this one is particularly bad this year because COVID. But the video, if you get a chance to watch it, it's definitely worth watching. Literally, just Google Devolver Max Pass Plus, and there's a half-hour video. Obviously, they do their little bit, their skit, and then during that, they then show all the games that are coming to Max Pass Plus as a premium purchase.
Oh, really?
It's really, really funny. And they are releasing and they are getting some really fantastic indie games. One of which is called Death's Door. And no, we're not on Death's Door right now, as much as I like to...
feel like
I am. But Death's Door is one of these sort of isometric, top-down, action RPG adventure type games. It's really, really pretty. The art style is
RPG. Similar.
Yeah, it's on a 45-degree plane angle camera view. It looks like it's twin stick, or at least mouse and keyboard style will be movement on your keyboard and whatever. But it looks really good. And I'm sat there going, I want it, purely for the art style. So I'm going to read a few things from their website, because obviously this is a pre-order, and I'm just going by what they've put here. So about the game. Reaping souls of the dead and punching a clock might get monotonous, but it's honest work for a crow. So apparently you play a crow. This is the first time I'm reading this, so...
Okay, I'm trying to assist. I'm sorry, I couldn't have me laughing. It sounds insane.
It's really, really funny, and I love the idea. So you're like a crow, anamorphous crow,
I'm sorry, this is like bringing memories back of like Goose Game. I can't remember what it was called. You run around as a goose and you just generally piss people off.
Oh yeah, no, I am. What was it called?
Oh no, I don't know. I don't even know what
it's yeah. I can't remember what it's called, but it's hilariously funny. But apparently, so the job gets lively when your assigned soul is stolen, and you must track down a desperate thief to a realm untouched by death, where creatures grow far past their expiry and overflow with greed and power. So you've got a talon-sharp combat, utilize melee, arrows, and magic to overcome a fantastic array of beasts and demigods. A bit like some of the other adventure games that are out there at the moment. A beautifully bleak world. How can it be beautifully and bleak in the same... That doesn't make sense, but okay. Venture beyond the doors and explore a land full of twisted inhabitants and countless secrets. And there is apparently a story behind it that is somber yet comedic. So it's going to be great, I think. It's going to be one of those games. The art style looks fantastic.
So in a sense, it sounds like it's got a bit of dark humour in there as well.
It's going to be really, really funny dark humour, I think, and it's
awesome.
It's going to have this really odd, like, I think, Dark Souls sense, where you die continuously, but as you die, you sort of get better at the game. Or that's what I'm hoping. Okay. It might just be really, really easy, and be nothing like that. But definitely check it out. I think it's worth a look in the grand scheme of what Devolver are bringing, and there is a website for Max Pass Plus. It's hilarious. Definitely check it out. There are plenty of games that they have also announced that we could talk about, and I may talk about later on. But definitely check that one out.
Is there any price points for it at all? Or?
So Max Pass Plus actually doesn't exist. It's this is the sucker punch. So I'm gonna Google it now. Max Pass Plus. This is the funny thing. It pokes fun at the monetization as a service. So basically, it's, hey, nobody cares about your subscription service, and we will charge you nothing. But it was a whole thing to like show off a bunch of new games in such a way that it makes it feel like you have to subscribe to get these games. Because obviously with the likes of Microsoft, Sony, even Nintendo, and you've got Netflix and all the subscription services out there. It just basically punches them to death and says, look, we don't want this anymore. We just want to buy games. We are here for games, damn it. And it's good. It's really funny. They announced some really great games, really some outstanding concepts for games that are coming. Even this year, they're coming this year. Some of them look really simplistic. The art styles are really childish, but have like a really dark sense and theme. Others...
those are quite popular right now, though, aren't they? A lot of people actually are enjoying these kind of like going back to the roots, indie simplistic games that have a bit of a dark story tale, the whole RPG element and things, the tabletop kind of games as well. Are sort of, everything seems to be going backwards rather than forwards, very strangely, even though the consoles are obviously improving.
That's it. They're testing the hardware and going, how much can we throw at it on screen? Indie games, this is the best way to test it. And they've got some like AAA titles as well, or a AAA title, what I would consider one, which is the next Shadow Warrior game, which now is basically Doom.
Okay.
It's basically bullet hell, run around, shoot stuff, kill demons, that sort of thing.
Oh yes, I think I saw that this afternoon actually.
I think it's running on the same engine as Doom. It has to be, because the way that the combat system and the way that the movement system works in what I've seen of this game,
it's very similar.
It's very similar. Apart from you don't jump pack everywhere, you sort of like use a grappling hook to swing and turn around real quick, and it's going to be a fast-paced, on the rails bullet hell shooter, which I don't hate. But
I don't hate it, but I kind of get worried about things like this, because when things start becoming another one of those. Another one of those. It becomes, can't somebody come up with a concept that's original? It looks great. I'm not knocking it at all for that.
No.
But it does concern me.
Gonna be if they do it, if the game is done right and it has the correct story. I loved the first Shadow Warrior game. I think I played it on PC years ago, and I still have it somewhere. The whole concept was really cool. and I haven't played the series since because I just stopped playing the game. But we'll see what they do with it. It's not due out, I don't think, until next year. Oh no, it's supposed to be due out this year. I lied.
Oh, there you go.
It's coming to Windows, Xbox, and PlayStation 4.
Nice.
So expect to see some really sharp, on the rails, fast-paced shooting, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Wow.
So as well, now I want to leave some things to the audience here. Okay.
Okay.
So we've done Death's Door. I'm going to close that tab, and we're going to close the Devolver one as well. So I know that we have some big things from the AAA releases, the big companies.
Yeah.
What have we found? What do we know? So obviously we've got Ubisoft, we've got Gearbox, we've got the PlayStation. Are they going to do anything? So we should probably start with Ubisoft, because what I've seen from them is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Again, I mean, from what I've seen, I've been following a few YouTubers this afternoon and watching what their reaction has been to Ubisoft's release, and most of them, for the most part, seem to be very kind of like, it feels a bit lackluster. You know, there's some lovely things that are shoved in there, but for the most part, it kind of is just, it feels like repetitiveness, same old, nothing really new. But I will give it a list anyway, because, you know, I do like some of Ubisoft's game. One of the most common being, of course, Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed, are they actually doing anything for Assassin's? Oh, okay, no, I've just had a look. Yes, they are.
Yeah. Now, they are not doing anything new for Assassin's Creed.
Oh.
The only thing they are doing is releasing a new DLC for Valhalla, which is kind of like, well, yeah, that's kind of predictable because it's a reasonably new game, although it is nearly 2 years old now. It's kind of like, yeah, okay, I kind of half expect a DLC. You know, so it's not really anything new.
To release DLC for a game. I mean, I get it, like DLC and curating for Assassin's Creed games to make it fit within the universe and it be historically correct, which we all know Assassin's Creed is known for. Assassin's Creed 1, 2, 3, 4, everything other than, you know, it's been really, really... Don't get me started.
Yeah, I mean, look, I love Assassin's Creed, but I think over the years there has been a distinct change in the way the gameplay is altered, and obviously a lot of people are going on about the blade being removed and stuff like that. So the whole stealth thing was kind of dying off.
Well, I mean, from what I understand of the story and the lore behind Assassin's Creed, is when they started to move away from the whole like Templars and the assassinations, and they moved away from it more towards like Black Flag, where you could do sword fights and you could do other fighting methods. I know they were in the previous games, I understand that, but it wasn't the main aspect. To like go up to a cliff, survey your area, go, okay, so that guy, if I kill them in this order, I will get through without being seen. They started just going, okay, kill that guy from the roof, and then you might have to fight these 10 guys over here because they'll spot you regardless. You can't get away from it, so just pull out your sword and have a bit of a fight. You know, they started to move away from that. I kind of understand the blade missing. It's just quite nice to have, I think, as a mechanic. It's like, oh, I'm about to finish you off. How about knife to the neck? Right.
Oh, I love the blade, and obviously, I think it was Odyssey that they got rid of it, and it was replaced with the spear.
Yeah, but Odyssey was supposed to be like the God of War style one, wasn't it? With all the...
Oh, look, I really wish they wouldn't try and do these things, because it's like, look, just stick to what you know kind of thing. People love the game for what it already is. I understand that some people want to change things to sort of modernize things, give it a new feel, give it new gameplay, a new structure. I understand that, but don't fix what isn't broken.
No.
You know, a lot of people have a lot of love for the franchise. I think, you know, the blade is actually quite a big issue for a lot of the major fans. It's really strange listening to people argue over it.
It's so iconic, though. You think
it is.
You've grown up with a series that have always had like this wrist blade, and then all of a sudden it goes missing, and it's like, well, now what do I do with myself?
Yeah, it's not the same plunging a spear into the back of someone's neck, trust me. I find it far more satisfying coming from the front and tearing their throat open. That's just my kind of gig, you know.
But, I mean, I think we'll have to see how this DLC and whole thing turns out, because... I mean, I haven't bought an Assassin's Creed game for years. I doubt I'll probably buy Valhalla.
See, I want it, but I'm waiting for the price to come down, because it's one of them.
Sense.
Yeah, I mean, I waited for Origins to come down, because Origins, when that first came out, was ridiculously overpriced. As far as I was concerned, that's a personal opinion. Not everybody agrees with that. But I'm quite glad that I did wait. And Origins, for me, was better than Odyssey. Personally, because obviously we still had the blade, we still had a similar game structure. Odyssey switched it up a little bit more. It felt more of like an RPG element game to me, and again, they seem to have done the same thing with Valhalla. They've pushed it more towards this RPG element, which is great, but the problem is with that is the game as a whole. Odyssey is massive, right? And they have all that space to play with. And yet everything, time and time again, is repetitive. Nothing really strikes me as being amazing. The storyline as well was really kind of blah. I don't know. I didn't feel what I felt in Origins. Didn't feel what I felt in Black Flag. Didn't feel what I felt in Syndicate. You know, there's just... I didn't get that connection somehow. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I am massively into Egyptology, so maybe that is why I prefer Origins in another way. Yeah. I am also into the Romans. I dig that, but, you know, I don't know what it is. For me, Odyssey was just a beautiful game. It's still quite buggy, gotta be honest. The amount of bugs that I've come across in my time playing it is quite high. Like their ads for a start off, their ads are ridiculous. They're absolutely dumb. So they are just stupid. And obviously I've done things like when I'm jumping off a cliff, I'll get stuck between two rocks and consistently fall, and I'll keep going, wah, wah, you know, it's weird. I've done some really weird shit on it.
God, I love them hitboxes.
Oh, mate, seriously, that game shouldn't even be that buggy at this stage. You know, it's been out for quite a while now. There really is no excuse. So I don't think they really go out of the way to fix too much. They kind of make their money off it. And as we know with, again, we've had this discussion before about the pay-to-win mechanic, which has also introduced itself into Ubisoft games.
Yes.
Yes, the grind there is for the leveling, and then you get to a certain point and you're like, this is ridiculous. Because what they've done, like with a couple of the bosses in Odyssey for a start, there's some main animal bosses that you need to kill. There's like a wild boar who's a bit of a pain in the arse, quite frankly, and the amount of times I've gone back to him, I've leveled myself up way above him. I've got a poison build with a bit of an animal build as well, so a hunter build if you like. Yeah. So I've kind of crossed the two together, and I thought I could actually take him down. And every time, honest to God, the way they hit you hard, man. So I couldn't, I just get bored of that. I get bored of that. I want to feel like I'm getting somewhere, and I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere anymore in Odyssey, which is why I stopped playing it. Because it's just, I don't feel like I'm doing anything anymore. I don't feel like I'm getting anything out of this. But again, you know, Valhalla, I haven't had that yet. I haven't got it yet. I've heard good things. I've heard bad things. It's a very mixed bunch from what I can gather. And again, I think for many people, it's stepping again too far into the RPG element and away from what they were trying to produce as a really good, like, role-play game anyway. Yeah. From their own kind of design. So, so obviously they're doing a DLC, which is called, bear with me, I can't remember what it is.
So, we've got to look at the next expansion, Siege of Paris. Yeah, the Siege of Paris.
Apparently with that there's going to be some new weapons and gear upgrades and stuff like that. So it's very basic. There's not really anything to...
I mean, maybe for another time we're going to have to talk about why we think DLCs are a thing, because... And especially with bigger games like these RPGs, why they think they should take so long. And I understand. I understand that games design is hard. I've tried it. It's a nightmare.
Of course it is.
It's so hard to do. But this sort of content, in my eye. If I'll go back and watch this video later, and possibly touch on it next time. But
yeah,
it's.
I mean, it's hard, but at the same time, the people that buy these games have to work hard to get the money to buy the damn game in the first place. So we have to work equally as hard to get what we want. So we can use that excuse if we want to, but again, I'm wearing very thin with excuses and support for anybody that is going to do things like this. The monetization of games.
Yeah.
We're being led down a path I don't like, and it's like I said the other day, it's really ripping the core and the heart out of what gaming truly means to people like us, you know.
But I think that leads on and away from quite nicely in the same thing, in the same strand here. Look, I've got a list here of what Ubisoft have announced. Now, one thing that strikes me big here, and I haven't enjoyed a Rainbow Six game for a long time. But Extraction, that looks fucking fantastic.
It looks pretty cool if you're into that kind of thing.
So I've been playing Call of Duty recently, and I've just dived into the zombies mode. Now, zombies isn't a big thing for me in most games. I don't care for it. Call of Duty games, I generally only play zombies with friends because it's more fun. But I'm starting to do it solo because... Well, it's just more of a test. I've got to a point now in my gaming life where I'm just like, do you know what? I don't even care how I win, how I lose. Let's challenge myself. And it's hard. This just looks like it's zombies on crack. It looks so good that it's apparently a spin-off of the Outbreak mode, which I guess was in Siege. Oh yeah, it's in Siege. I've just read the article. But if it's
Sounds
a proper
like an average day in the UK to me.
Standard time. But if it's a proper spin-off and it's a full game in its own right, which I believe it's going to be, that is going to be so good. I have a feeling it's going to be absolutely fantastic, and apparently with cross-play as well.
Oh, nice.
I'm assuming that PS4 or just PlayStation players can play with Xbox players, and Xbox players can play with PlayStation and Windows players. But
now that's a feature that I'd like to see more of. Oh,
they're bringing it. It's happening, and I've seen a lot of stuff that's being thrown out with crossplay. But I'm hoping that all platforms will be able to play together with this because it just. I'm gonna watch the cinematic trailer again later, but honestly, it looked creepy as shit when I watched it earlier. I was like, oh boy, this is so good.
It looks pretty good.
So, I don't have much on that, but. Me and yourself, we do like to play the odd instrument. I think it's safe to say that you more than I. And we have, after 10 years, Rocksmith.
Yeah!
Now, I started Rocksmith years ago. I had it on PlayStation 3. Was it PS3? Yeah, PS3.
It was PS3, yeah.
Oh, God, I feel so old.
I've still got it.
And it helped me unlearn music. That sounds really bad, but I learned nothing. Not because I was unwilling to learn, but the way that it teaches is different to the way I was learning to play at the time. Now, the biggest thing that I saw was I was learning to play Foo Fighters, Wheels, funnily enough, and it was on Rocksmith 2, I think. And the way that I learned to play it chorded was completely different to the way Rocksmith was trying to teach me. So in the end, I fucked off Rocksmith and was like, I just play it the way I've been learning to play it, which sounded better than the way Rocksmith was teaching me. I don't get it. But
it's really bizarre. The one thing I noticed with it as well, I'm not sure if you had the same problem as I did, but there's a severe lag on it. When you're playing, it's not good. They needed to really tune that up, dude. It's just, it wasn't happening.
Going from like a whacking great huge like 5mm jack, proper, connect your instrument, jack it in, and then all the way down through a USB cable. How did you get that data from the guitar? Like, it doesn't output. I don't understand guitar electronics. I've never dismantled a whole like pickup system. Okay, I've never felt the need to do it. But I'm hoping that this new Rocksmith Plus, brings back something that the franchise missed.
Yeah.
And actually makes it better and more options for guitarists to learn.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I'd buy it definitely if I thought there was an improvement there and the lag had gone.
Yeah.
I'm presuming that the way they pick up the sound is similar to how the portable
I believe
tuners work.
Yeah,
It could be very similar.
I know. I think they're still using the old cable system, but I'm hoping they're using a better way of doing it. But
Yeah.
the trailer shows somebody with an acoustic. This is not an electric acoustic. This is just an acoustic.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to watch this trailer later just to understand what is going on.
Yeah.
But they might have a different way to learn to play, with possibly like an audio pickup system,
Yeah.
or if you're playing electric guitar, then you plug it in. If you're playing bass guitar, you plug it in. If you're playing 12 strings, I know you can get electric 12-string guitars.
Yes, you can.
Well, I'm interested. I just want to see more. I want to see how it runs, how they're doing, and what they're doing with it, and making sure that actually you get what you're paying for, because it's such a good idea for new, or even returning musicians to playing guitar, which I would be returning.
Well, that's one positive thing about it, isn't it? It kind of inspires a younger generation and maybe even older generation or people that, just want to learn to play. I mean, it does open those doors back up for people, so
it's good to see that they're bringing it back, reviving it properly.
Yeah.
And on the Nintendo side, now Nintendo are not known for their E3.
No.
I should probably get more information on what Nintendo have been doing. But Ubisoft, we know Ubisoft are always working with Nintendo on Rabbids games.
Yes, they have. Yes, indeed.
And they've obviously announced a sneak peek trailer for the next game. Another leaked name to the sequel.
Sparks of Hope.
Sparks of Hope, yes. The full reveal of this planet-hopping crossover, including Rabbid version of Super Mario Galaxy characters, like Rabbid Rosalina. So we're getting new characters, apparently. And it's a completely different game.
Yeah, apparently it's more open world and it's not so locked in. So you're not locked in or guided on a path or kind of forced. This is more open, so you're kind of free reign, if you like.
Be interesting.
It certainly looks like that way, anyway.
It's going to be a big release, I think, next year. So I'm going to wait and make judgment then. I've never been huge on the Rabbids series. Anything with Rabbids that had Rabbids in has been hilarious because they're a bit like Minions. They are completely nonsensical, but be interesting to see what they do with that. Because I know that's always a big seller for Nintendo, especially.
Yeah, I love Rabbids in general. Anyway, I've always had a bit of a laugh with those games.
So I'm just trying to find Nintendo's Direct E3 from this year, just to find out what they. I don't think it's happened yet.
No, I don't think it has, because obviously there's still some big announcements to come from some major labels, such as SquareEnix and Bethesda. So, again, as we speak and as we're doing this, there is still some major announcements going on, and we will be covering those in our next session, because we're going to do 3 episodes of our podcast, especially for E3. Just plugging that one in there.
Come back for more E3 coverage.
Yeah. Another game as well I saw, which again, I'm not sure how to feel about it. It looked kind of cool, but I think this could be one aimed at the youngsters where they make their money. Right. A particular game called Riders Republic. It looks like an extreme sports game. It does appear that it's multiplayer online as well. Again, I've got a funny feeling this is going to be a microtransaction thing, where you buy new skins and look super cool and you hang out in certain areas. Yeah. I'm not really digging it personally. Again, someone's going to like it because this is why they've done it. They know that this is going to be a money maker and a money spinner for them. Because what is it? They look for the whales, don't they? They go for people whales.
Yeah. What they're trying to do here, I think, is bring back some of the fun that these sort of competitive, sports games bring. Because honestly, I've not played a proper decent this kind of sports game since I played Downhill Domination on the PlayStation 2. Downhill Domination, the last of the great like racing sports games, in my opinion. Obviously, there are the SSX games, and SSX Tricky is one of the, if not, it is the gold standard for snowboarding games.
Were they responsible for, were Ubisoft responsible for Onrush and Steep?
Yes, and Steep
that explains it.
wasn't bad, actually. Steep was quite good, but it had...
Again, monetary
It was
stuff.
too big a world. I think they tried to pack so much into a multiplayer experience that it became too much. But this looks great.
I enjoyed Onrush. Onrush was great. That was good fun.
Yeah, I saw a lot of gameplay and played a small amount at a friend's, and it was great. I never bought it.
It's on special offer at the moment.
Oh, don't.
It's about £3.
Oh wow, I don't have £3 to my name.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I have to wait till payday.
That was me thinking I was doing you a favour. I don't have 3. Oh dear.
Shit. But yeah, so I'm currently, well, obviously with this new Riders Republic, like you say, it's gonna really poke at the kids with the flashies and the sparkly lights, a bit like Fortnite. But apparently you can, do first-person mountain biking, snowboarding. First-person mountain biking is going to be interesting. Snowboarding around parks and gliding between mountains with a rocket-powered jetpack. Because, every kid's dream is to
do that.
It looks great. I'm gonna see what sort of gameplay they put to it, and if it's actually any good. If it's like Steep, I may wait for it to be free.
Yeah, I mean, there are some rumours saying that it will be free to play and that it's going to be a transaction game. But again, don't quote me on that one. That's just hearsay. I don't know exactly. All I can tell you about it, though, is its release time, which is apparently it's set to be released on the 2nd of September. So
quite close then.
Yes. Yeah.
Just having a quick look at a closer. Yeah, 2nd of September. That is really close.
There's quite a few that are close, actually. Like the DLC release for Assassin's Creed, for example. That's due for release in the summer, so that's actually coming this summer.
I know. So Extraction, Rainbow Six is I think it's going to be coming later on because that is.
Yeah, and I know that Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction. Yeah, that's coming on the 16th of September.
Oh, really?
Yep.
You are a little bit. Oh yeah, no, there you go. 16th of September. So yeah, you are a little bit more in the know than I am. I am lame when it comes to knowing release dates, and I'm literally reading the fucking thing in front of me. But I think now is a good time to cover indie games. And are they making a comeback? Now, this is huge.
Oh, hang on.
Wait.
We have missed out, actually, quite an important game from Ubisoft.
Have we?
Which, actually, a lot of people are quite excited about. I am one of them.
Okay, I'm sorry, let's backtrack. Take that back.
Rewind. Rewind.
Rewind.
Yeah, so... Avatar.
Oh no, not another Avatar game. Oh god, please spare me.
Avatar. Frontiers of Pandora.
Oh, no.
It looks... Look, again, this is another thing that really annoys me about E3. People never show actual gameplay footage. Please, developers, listen to me. Management, listen to me. We're not interested in movie cutscenes, okay? They're fake ass. They don't prove anything. They just show us what your computers can do and how special your engines are. That is it, okay? We want to see gameplay.
Yeah, all the time. Gameplay.
Not bloody movies. If I want to see a movie, I'll bugger off to the cinema and I will watch a goddamn movie. I will purchase a movie from somewhere, but I do not need to be seeing it in my games. I want to see gameplay. I mean, I'm so done with that.
We say so that, done with it. But we get so hyped when we see the new Final Fantasy trailers and we're like, the hype is real.
That's different. That's allowed. No, seriously, but the actual footage that I've seen, okay, just basing it on what I have seen, it does look incredibly pretty. It looks incredible. And I pray that they're doing this justice, because I am aware they did release another game, didn't they?
Well, I believe so. I believe it was like a movie tie-in game back on like the PS2 days.
Right, from what I've been told.
It was
so,
shocking.
Look, this could be something quite unique, and it could be really, really, really good, because I love Avatar. The movie was incredible, and I'm really looking forward to the second one. But this could be really good. This could be really good. I really hope they make something of it. I really do. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But again, I'm doing that thing I did with Cyberpunk, you know? So much anticipation, so much excitement. And then when it comes...
It's just a bit lackluster. I'm going to watch the trailer. I'm looking at the trailer now. Obviously, I'm not playing it because you guys would be able to hear it. But yes, the still image is very, very pretty. But I don't think... I'm wondering what this new Snowdrop engine can do. Is if all of Ubisoft's up-and-coming games are going to be running this engine, when I watch this, if this trailer is in-engine, then that's going to be phenomenal. And if the game looks like that, whew, fair play.
But another game you also missed out is Far Cry 6.
Yes, the infamous Far Cry games. The games I have stopped playing. Not because I wanted to stop playing them, but because I just... My
fiance's been trying to get me into Far Cry. You know, he was like, Far Cry 4's amazing, Far Cry 5's amazing, you'll love it. You know, it looks pretty cool.
What was the last game I played? I think it was Far Cry 4, but I played Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon to death. Blood Dragon was fucking fantastic. If you haven't played Blood Dragon, it's not very long. It runs on the Far Cry 3 engine. Thank you, phone, for telling me that it's nearly bedtime. It runs on the Far Cry 3 engine, which is just really cool. So you don't have to relearn anything. And it had this really, really nice, like, retro, and I mean really retro, like 80s, 70s, 80s vibe. Because you were literally playing an action hero for all intents and purposes. Far Cry 4 changed the mold for me, and was then what I made every Far Cry base on. That was the Far Cry. And then everything after it has been a bit, oh, it's a drug lord. Oh, it's just a guy that wants to... It's just like, oh, it's not Far Cry anymore.
It's a bit cliche. It's been done, I guess. But, I mean, look, it looks quite cool. For those that really love Far Cry, they are going to love it by the looks of it. I know that my fiance is he's looking forward to it. It looks good, sounds good. Some of the acting is incredible in it as well. So, again, the voiceover acting... Literally, voiceover acting in a lot of these games saves a lot of these games as well, to be fair. So there's that. What else are we looking at? There's one more game. It's not such a biggie for me, but it might be for those that are actually wanting to get active.
Oof. Wait, you mean you pay that?
well, I used to. But this game will get you moving. Just Dance 2022.
Oh, yay. Yay. What should we say about Just Dance? Should I get enthusiastic about it? Because I don't think I can. I just think it's going to be one of those games that's just a game, and I'm just going to talk about a game that's, it's a dancing game. Yay.
Well, it'll certainly warm those cuckles because it's being released on the 4th of November. So
it's definitely going to keep you warm.
It'll keep you warm in those lonely, cold nights. You know, if you haven't got someone to cuddle up to, you can just go on Just Dance 2022 and, get funky.
Or alternatively, you could, get a relatively cheap VR headset and play Beat Saber. I mean, it does the same thing. And you have lightsabers.
In game like I have.
Oh, you nerd! You absolute nerd.
Doing the poker, I love it.
Oh, god damn it!
But yeah. That's being released on the 4th of November, as I say. So. The advert for it on E3, I've got to be honest, I had to giggle almost all the way through it. It was just a little bit cringy.
Is it the worst kind of cringe or the best kind of cringe?
Well, you take a look at it now. I tell you now, it didn't even feel like they were advertising Just Dance. It felt like they were advertising, or should I say, a particular person was advertising themselves on the game and bigging themselves up all the way through it. I'm on this game. I wrote a song and I've done a dance for it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, really? Come on. This is supposed to be E3. Not some fashion flaming, I don't know, Paris runway or something. It's fucking crazy. Well, I had a bit of a giggle. It gave me a giggle, so it was worth the watch just for the giggle.
I might have to have a laugh at it later on.
Yeah, please do. It was quite amusing. It's just kind of it is cringe, but it gets people active. Great, that's all I can say. And if people like dancing and they want to get fit, then that's a really good way to do it. Zumba was another release that they had.
Years ago. Jesus,
yeah, years ago.
That died years ago.
It did, but you know what? It was bloody good fun. I actually lost a little bit of weight playing that, and then I played on my Wii Sports as well. Those two things combined, I have to say I did. I trimmed up quite a bit as a result of that.
I think
and I went pole dancing as well for a while, so that
definitely helps because you're building a core there.
Core body strength. Yeah, absolutely.
But I think these dancing games and rhythm games that get you moving, it's always a positive, and I love Beat Saber.
Oh, Beat Saber's legendary.
It's just one of those things I can sit there and I can play for not very long, admittedly. Not because I lack the strength and the stamina to do it, but I spent so much time in VR that I have to take the headset off now.
And get back to reality.
and come back out of the VR experience. I love it, but I just cannot do it for very long.
But still waiting for the multiplayer on that one. They've really let me down on that, I have to say. I'm really angry with them at the moment.
You are not the only one. According to the internet is very, very, very
they're going savage because they keep doing updates, don't they? And it's quite consistent. They've released new song packs, but time and time again people have requested it. And not so long ago, I think it was just before Christmas, they asked out there on Twitter, out of these three bands, which console or what platform do you play Beat Saber on? The majority of it was PSVR. And it's PSVR that they are neglecting. Well, I don't get it.
I can't comment hugely because obviously I'm not a games developer.
No.
I can talk to a mate of mine who is developing games in VR, but from my understanding it's not to do with the developer themselves. It's to do with how they have to submit updates and how the testing is so stringent on those updates for console, whereas PC, it's just like, oh, it works, okay, shove it there, do it, just get it on the platform. Whereas with console games, they have to be tested a little bit more stringently so that you get the performance that you require. Obviously, we had an update, was it 5 or 6 updates ago that broke the game. The beat track and everything was just off. The timing was wrong. They come out, they held their hands up and said, okay, that's our bad, sorry, we'll fix it. And a week later, or whatever it was, I think it was up to a week, maybe a couple of days later, they released a patch and it was fine.
But what I don't understand though, and again, I was having this conversation with my fiance this morning when it comes to other games such as like Grand Theft Auto 5. There's a lot of people that play these games, and there are a lot of modders. Now, these modders and the things they're capable of doing and the things they do are phenomenal. Why aren't these guys working? Why aren't they employed by these businesses? It makes me so mad because I swear down, most of these people, like they've done with Skyrim, right? They've allowed modders to actually have a bit of a free reign on there and do whatever they want, essentially. Which is awesome, And do you know what? Some of those people have made that game playable. They've made that game brilliant.
Oh, they've really kept the game, especially with a lot of Bethesda stuff, where they then started to take a lot of these modded or mod packs and then build a store into the game and say to the designers, look, we want to put your mod in our game. Bethesda actively did that, which is cool. Like,
it is. It's great. I wish more of them would do this, though. I really do, because honestly, there are people out there that I feel sometimes could do a better job. I actually reckon that if you gave someone, a list of people and modders out there, the rights to like go to Cyberpunk and go, right, do you know, we can fix this. I can guarantee you that would be done in far quicker time. And it would probably be done far better as well. I don't understand why they don't. I just don't get it. It's crazy. But anyway, we're going off topic again.
It's a complete tangent.
It is.
Back on the road. So we have.
On the road.
What do we have? So we're gonna fast forward now, or kind of. We're gonna go back to where we were. So, indie games. They are making, or what I can see, are making a massive, and I mean massive, comeback. I was reading an article this morning, and while I don't have a list of all the indie games that are being released in the coming year, the amount of indie games shown at E3 this year were well in excess of 70 plus. Now that is incredible. So you've got these, really maybe new startup companies, or maybe these AAA companies that are actually going, do you know what, we don't want to make a big title this year. We don't want to do that anymore. We want to make something that's different, new, revolutionary in the gaming environment. We want to bring new gamers and old gamers alike back in with, a popular idea, something that was possibly done maybe in the late 80s, early 90s. And while I say I don't have a list, that's awesome. Let's get the indie games back. Please. Please.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I think a lot of these bigger companies now are walking away from E3, because they're not, let's face it, these bigger names in the industry don't really need the aid of E3. Not really. Not realistically looking at it from a business perspective. Not really. Why not make E3 about the indie games? Why not give them a bunk up? You know what I mean? Rung up the ladder.
That's what it should be these days. And
prop up the people that actually need the help, not those that don't.
Yeah, and I think now that a lot of these indie titles, you look at what PlayStation 4 did on its release. They signed X amount of studios to make X amount of indie games for X amount of years. I can't remember the statistics off the top of my head. They absolutely loved indies, and they still do. Sony love them because it's new. They don't need to pay loads of money for these games, admittedly. And if their contract for the game runs out, okay. Not a big deal. But then these developers for these indie games can go off and create something different, or they can stay under the banner they're currently labelled and make that kind of game, or do a complete U-turn like Coffee Stain Studios, who made the likes of what was that Goat game? Goat Simulator.
Goat Simulator. That's awesome.
They made Goat Simulator, and the next title they made was Satisfactory, which I love, by the way. Satisfactory is fucking amazing, but it's a completely different game. You've got a physics-based run-around headbutt shit, and then you've got a factory-building game where you terraform a planet. But how do you go from one to the other?
I don't know.
It's fucking amazing.
You've got to be on something, seriously.
And it's Coffee Stain Studios. Their whole team behind their social media and their community managers are hilarious. They're so funny. They get right in the action with the community. They are literally bouncing ideas off the community. They are always in contact. They do really funny videos. They live stream. They've released 2 more games since Satisfactory. One of them being Valheim, which I'm really excited about, and I need to get my hands on, but it's buggy as fuck apparently right now.
Oh yes, I've seen that. Again,
an early
else
access
my partner
game.
Once.
So I can't remember what else they've announced / release after Valheim, but again, it's another big-ish title. But they started as an indie developer, literally creating a game about a goat. This is what E3 should be about. The funny shit. The developer that makes dumb games, or a game that could be fucking massive in 2 years, or just becomes a cult classic.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at the likes of, for example, during lockdown, we had the guys that did Fall Guy. That was a little indie label, wasn't it? A group of people just come together, made this game. It was colourful, it was bright, it was cheerful, it was a bit of fun, it was very random. I've got to say, I actually quite like it, but I mean, again, I think for me, it kind of wore thin a little bit afterwards. But
the problem with that particular game is it got very big very quickly.
Very quickly, yeah.
And then
I mean,
Epic
look at them though. The
Games
guys
snapped
have
it
done so well, and now obviously they've sold it, haven't they?
Well, they didn't sell it. They were bought by Epic Games on
Epic
PC.
Games, that's the one.
And they, excuse me, it wasn't folded in. It's still its own studio, but they literally just like, yeah, we're on Epic now.
Which is amazing, because Epic Games aren't terrible at all, you know?
No, I don't want to talk about their shady business, because I don't have an issue with them. And I'm sure we're going to get people messaging us after this if they listen to this and say, oh, well, Epic Games do this, and they don't do this, and they're just really bad for this and that. And so I'm like, I'm not there. So that's not...
No.
It's not necessarily my problem, but it's not something I can control.
No.
So, and my experience with Epic has been amazing. So...
I just think it's really good for these indie guys, though, because, you know, they work really hard on developing something that is actually quite unique. So, you know, again, well done to that team. You know, they've gone on, they're doing well. They're probably making quite a bit of money at this point, and so they bloody well should, you know. And this is what it's about. Indie games should be allowed to come forward and grow and be loved and adored by anyone that can get their hands on it, and they should have the equal amount of promotion and representation, I think.
And more and I do love a good indie game as much as I like, you know, my AAA titles, which is few these days. Damn it, Square Enix, you sons of bitches. But you know, it's indie games have been one of those things that I can get home, and if I want to, I can just turn on and relax. I don't have to pay any mind to it. It's just sort of, it's not mind numbing. It's just a really enjoyable, calm experience that you don't have to pay attention to. And we need more of that. And I'm glad that we are getting so much of it.
Absolutely.
Oh, hang on. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a... Hang on. Oh, something about Guardians of the Galaxy.
What?
I don't know. So this is really random. We are on another website that's giving me the Square Enix... Oh, wait, no. Okay. The Square Enix schedule, and all I saw was Marvel. But that leads quite nicely, to be fair, with indie games, into Sony. Now, we mentioned Sony do love, or still will forever love, their indie games. But State of Play, they're not at E3 this year. But they've always, in the last couple of years, they've kind of stepped back.
They've gone it alone.
They know they can do what they need to do without it. But
exactly.
The next State of Play is on... well, that's wrong, because that says May 27, and we're already in June. But State of Play, so obviously what we got from that was Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart, which has since been released. That was released Friday, I believe. People are already saying that A, it's really short, B, it's really short, and C, they've already completed it. So
yeah, I've heard the same thing.
I can't play it because PlayStation 5 only. Damn you, Sony.
But then none of their games were long anyway. I mean, Ratchet and Clank have always been... They've
always had
3-hour games?
3, 4, 5 hours, depending on how much exploring you wanted to do around the world. I always like to literally rinse a planet of everything before I left.
I'm the same.
And then I'd move on to the next. I'm kind of annoyed that I can't play this one because I love Ratchet and Clank games.
It's exclusively on the PlayStation 5, I do believe.
It is, sadly. But we did also get more information on Horizon Forbidden West.
Oof.
Oh, that's a big oof there. So obviously this is going to be the next game in the Horizon series. It looks amazing. The first game looked phenomenal, and that's running on PS4.
I know.
And this running on PS5 in native 4K.
The stuff and the clips I have seen of that are absolutely gorgeous. It looks incredible. But there does seem to be a bit of an argument going on about Aloy's face. What's that about?
Because why
does it matter?
I don't understand why it matters, and I get it. But I don't think her face has changed that much. Like,
it really hasn't. I mean, people have to think she's been living out in the wild, eating lots of protein, most likely, because obviously you'll have a heavily protein diet. I would have thought living in that situation.
I'm gonna assume it's because it's now rendered in native 4K and not upscaled 4K, and you can now see the things that you didn't see before. I'm just guessing. However, I'm going to be hyped for what they release next, and show us next. We had a 14-minute clip, and I think they've shown a little bit more since. So the next state of play might be them giving us a proper release date and more gameplay.
Oh, I hope so, because that was like, for me, Zero Horizon Dawn is up there in my top 5 games, most definitely. It's absolutely incredible. It's so good. Still a pretty game now.
Oh,
it looks
really
incredible. It plays beautifully as well. I love it.
When you go from like the base PlayStation 4 model to the Pro model, and you get the option to turn HDR 4K on, oh my god, it's a different game. It just looks amazing.
I can't wait. I really can't wait for that one.
I think I'm hyped for it. I really want them to give me more. But state of play it's not going away. I think Sony are going to keep this as a, I don't know, 6 monthly or whatever it is they make it as these days, announcement showcase.
Good for them. I think that's great. Yeah. They don't need, like I said before, these big companies do not need to be falling on the backs of things such as E3. They don't need it.
No,
they do not need it. They don't need it.
They've basically done a full Nintendo and gone sod it. And Nintendo have done massively well over the years with Nintendo Direct, so why can't Sony?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey. So expect more from that at some point soon. What else is on our list? What have we missed?
We have, I've been following a little bit on Gearbox Entertainment, the guys that are responsible for Borderlands. Yes, they're very interesting, actually. They've got quite an eclectic mix of things that they're doing at the moment. It's very bizarre. So we have... they're talking about doing a new game which is based on one of the characters from Borderlands called Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Isn't it supposed to be is it a full game or is it a DLC? I thought it was a DLC, but...
I think it was supposed to be, but they've made it a separate game now.
It's a spin-off game.
Yes,
okay.
It is.
I'm going to buy
a looter shooter, so it's another looter shooter. And it's based in a fantasy environment where you get to kill dragons and stuff like that. So
if you remember, what was it in Borderlands 2? They did the Dungeons and Dragons DLC for Borderlands 2, and I think that's where they've got this idea from to expand on it. And I loved that DLC, so I'm gonna really watch this.
It even features her unicorn, apparently.
Oh wow! Is it? Yeah. I'm gonna have to watch. If it's young Tiny Tina, that's gonna be amazing. If it's Borderlands 3 Tiny Tina, I didn't play Borderlands 3, but I know she's aged up. So
I'd say she's not quite a little girl, more towards sort of the teenage element, maybe.
I think she's supposed to be like 16, 17 in Borderlands 3, where
something
she's
like that. Yeah,
8 or
I'd put her at that kind of point personally, from what I've seen of it anyway. But yeah, it looks really cool actually. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? This is insane.
She was always one of my favourite characters, always.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that, and the general response that they've got from it as well sounds quite good. Everyone's like hyped for it actually, so it's like, yes, about time. You know, it's really, really cool.
Looking at what they've actually announced here, I don't think they can top it. Obviously, they've as well got more Borderlands the movie showcase.
Yes.
They did a behind the scenes, which is a 7-minute video. Oh, I'm going to watch that later.
Yes, I watched it. It's quite good.
I'm kind of hopeful for that. Homeworld 3.
Homeworld 3, yes, which is all in production at the moment. So obviously there's no actual release date or price point or anything. We don't know very much about it at all.
That'd be interesting.
It looked pretty good. Another one they're doing is Tribes of Midgard, which is an isometric view RPG.
Ooh.
It's quite weird. Not for me personally. Again, it depends on the individual. It's very old school looking. And that's going to be available on July the 27th.
These are releasing really soon. Jesus.
Oh, they really are. And another game. This is another one game that I saw adverts for, or clips for, should I say, last year. And this is a game called Godfall. Godfall. Epic. Seriously, this is one game that I'm really looking forward to.
Do you know what? That sounds so familiar. Hold up. I need to do a quick live check.
Have a look at it. Have a look at it. It's beautiful.
I'm convinced I've got it on Epic. I'm convinced.
It's Godfall. Apparently, it releases on the 10th of August. It's a PlayStation exclusive, and they are releasing it on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5.
Ah, okay. So where do I'm swear I've got some. Oh, it might not be that. It might be Greedfall.
It's
That's
kind of an
probably
RPG.
Yeah.
Again, it is RPG based. It is a multiplayer, I do believe. I'm not sure if you play it solo. I didn't actually clock that one, but you do have your different sort of styles of armor. It's all about the swords and the shields and the big bosses and the dungeon-esque type scenario quest things, and
Yeah.
it looks really, really, really cool.
That's in. I think it was a Microsoft exclusive for a while. That's why. So maybe that. I need to find. I need to know, Dawn. I need to know.
Look it up. There is actually, like I say, it's a trailer. Godfall. It's amazing. It looks great. It looks so much fun.
Yeah, it was on Windows and PS5.
Oh, that's reminded me actually. Dungeons and Dragons has come out now, hasn't it? Or has it?
Dungeons and Dragons has been out for years, Dawn. But
No. There's a new one.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, on the PlayStation 4.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, a new game. Wait.
It's a new game.
We need to know.
Yes, we do need to know.
This is a live. We're doing. Oh no, Dark Alliance. Yes. No. Yes. 22nd of June.
Yes, there you
this
go.
Year.
22nd. There we go.
So, ooh, is that going to be running?
And I do believe it's quite cheap as well, from what I could see at the price point.
Current price point apparently is between like 30-35 quid. Some places obviously going to be cheaper, but take from that where you
what you will.
What you will. Brings life Dungeons and Dragons. So I've got the PlayStation.
I mean, obviously, this is not done by Gearbox. It's just something that's randomly popped into my head whilst I was thinking about Godfall.
But it's worth noting that it is coming out soon, like within a month, within this month.
It looks pretty cool. Again, it looks pretty cool. It does look cool.
Yeah, June 22nd, PlayStation 4 and 5. But back to Gearbox. So what have we got for Gearbox? I think we covered Gearbox. Gearbox has been covered.
Yes, they've got like 4 or 5 releases, which is great. Good for them. Again, they've done some incredible games. We can't really complain about that. No. They're a nice dev team. They've got a good team behind them. Good management. I think he knows what he's doing, so it's cool. But I'm looking forward. There's like 2 titles there out of them that I'm really looking forward to. Tiny Tina, that sounds awesome.
I'm so hyped for that.
Yeah, that is going to be a laugh. And Godfall, which I'm really looking forward to. But some people will be looking forward to the Tribes of Midgard and Homeworld 3. I mean, if that's your cup of tea, that's great. Good on you. Support them. It's great. But yeah, Godfall and Tiny Tina for me, when it comes to them, is I think the most standout out of all of them.
We shall see how well they can do on the underpowered system. I'm hoping that it's good.
Yes.
But next to the next big one. Obviously, we don't have anything Nintendo because Nintendo Direct hasn't happened yet. So
no.
We have Microsoft. Microsoft are making some very interesting claims.
Really?
They want to release a game a quarter. Now, a quarter is obviously 4 months. No, it's not. That's a lie. You're an idiot. Go home. No, I'm right. See, that's what the heat does to you when you're not quite sure what's going on.
Where am I? What time is it?
I'm wrong. It's every 3 months. It's 3 months.
Every 3 months.
So they want to release a game every 3 months. I'm
Eek.
How do you release a game every 3 months, especially when you claim to want to release one that's from what I'm assuming, an in-game or in-house studio?
Put it this way, I wouldn't want to be one of their developers, would you?
No, This it worries me as much as it's curious. I didn't read too much into it. I saw it and I just wanted to make it a conversational piece. But no, I know from other developers, and I've spoken to one of them online, actually on Facebook, years ago. He actually gave me a couple of codes for a free game or 2, which was kind of nice. I was They weren't
Cool.
they weren't amazing. They were good.
Yeah.
But he said that he tried to work with Microsoft, and Microsoft basically said, you do it in this time frame, and you get it done, or you don't. And then he went to Sony, and they were like, take your time. So we have this double, like, you have the two sides of the blade, if you like. One is rush, and the other one is, you get the game out when you're done. You know, let us test it along the way. So I'm thinking Microsoft are hopefully going to take a bit of a back seat and say, okay, we want a game a quarter, but I'm hoping that those games they want to release every quarter are actually not rushed. And this is where my curiosity comes in.
We have to be realistic, don't we?
Mm.
And I honestly, it is not. I don't think it's possible. You can't put that much pressure and apply that much pressure on someone. We've seen what happens when you apply pressure; they crumble, and they do. I'm sorry, they do. The long work hours that the developers of Cyberpunk put in, for example, you've got people that have obviously, again, we've gone over this with Red Dead Redemption and the bugs on that, although that was corrected quite quickly. These games, the reason why they have these problems in the first place is because they're bloody rushed out because of the pressure, because of the money. That is the motivator here. It isn't for the passion of gaming or the passion of the fans and those that are purchasing the games. This is about filling the back pockets of the CEOs. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm sorry, but that is the truth of it. And I think we've got to stop sort of propping them up and feeling sorry for them. There's nothing to feel sorry for. They know what they're doing. They also know when you apply too much pressure, people do crack. They also know that people have ordinary lives to live as well. Now, I've heard of stories of developers for major companies where they have literally moved into their offices. They are sleeping on their chairs or on a sofa next to the computer desk, where they're literally, that's ridiculous. When people start having to interfere with their health, their mental well-being, these are my major concerns about these developers right now. And I think we need to start addressing these points and being more realistic and being very serious about it, because it is not a joke.
No.
This is a problem. It's a pandemic of its own at the moment. Rich people buying into these companies and pushing them to make as much money for them as they possibly can. Instead of going, do you know what, guys? All I want from you is to produce an amazing game, enjoy producing said game, and let's make sure that it's out there and it's complete and it's real and it works for the people. Let's do it for those reasons. You know, this is the rough time scale we have. Let's try and work on this. You know, there just seems to be this thing where everybody thinks a game can be developed and out in 6 months.
No, it doesn't.
I don't know,
like that.
and it doesn't work like that. I don't know why they're really trying to push this.
I think
it's ridiculous.
I'm having a closer look now. So, what they're saying is they want to bring an in-house studio. So, from the likes
didn't Sony have one? Sony closed theirs down, though, didn't they?
Oh, Sony have got a few. They closed one or two down a few years ago. But they've got, obviously, Xbox xCloud, which is their... what is it? It's like their remote gaming service and their cloud gaming service. They've obviously got the Game Pass.
Like a gaming data bank, if you want to call it that.
Yes, so you can like log in on your phone and play games that you own via the cloud, or, you know, it's basically like the PlayStation app, where you can play your own games on your own console. But they're bringing that, supposed to be bringing that to like TVs, to your smart TV, and they're pledging at least one new game, a first party, into Game Pass every quarter. Now, I'm thinking that if it's going to Game Pass, it's not necessarily a new game. So I'm thinking they are going to go back over their back catalogue. Now, we know that Game Pass has games from every generation of Xbox, going back to the original Xbox.
Do you think they're upgrading what they already have?
I think they are going back and going and and not just like cherry picking the best, which they kind of have been doing, but they're going back and going, well, that was on our list to put in there in the first place, make it playable on Game Pass. So they're gonna like drip feed maybe bigger AAA titles that haven't been cherry picked yet to upgrade them for that pass and make them playable.
Yeah.
If they're gonna force new games, then those new games have had to have been in development for at least 3 years before they can hit market. We'd have to know about them for at least 3 years beforehand. So
I don't know.
This is what it sounds like to me, is they're going to go back over their back catalogue and release something instead of doing it like they have been, which is sort of like release one whenever. So I'll keep my my nose on this one.
I'm reserving myself on that because I don't know. Obviously, we don't know enough to really comment too much. But if it's a new game, how the hell is that going to work?
I
just cannot see that happening. I'm sorry. If it's a game that they're just updating or renewing or remastering or what have you, maybe. And even that's pushing it.
It says one new first-party game, so it's not. They're not saying that it's a current generation title that it's been in development for however long, but they're not saying that it's not. So it could be that they're going back and going, well, that was a Microsoft Studio game from the Xbox 360 era. Remake it, stick it, or update it, make it runnable on current gen hardware, stick it on Game Pass for free. So they're not saying that, hey, 343, we need you to make a game and hurry the fuck up and make it a Halo game, and we're going to stick it on Game Pass for everyone to play. Because A, that doesn't work for Halo games, and B, they'd fuck off 343 so quickly. So I'm gonna go on a whim and say that they're not gonna force newer games, like brand new, released from big AAA developers.
Yeah.
But we shall see, I think. We shall see. They did also announce Halo Infinite, which I don't have an Xbox for, so I can't play that. And Psychonaut 2, which I didn't play the first one for, so I probably won't play that. They've also, obviously, over the course of the year, apparently they've got Xbox and Bethesda Showcase, which is today.
Yeah, it is today. It's literally been happening as we've been talking.
Well,
yes.
I'm a little bit behind on that one, but I'm kind of interested.
Bethesda and SquareEnix were doing their showcase.
I'm going to have to go back, so that's going to be next time. I think next time I'm going to have to cover Fable, because I fucking love Fable games.
Well, obviously we'll cover the SquareEnix and the Bethesda on the next podcast, so that we'll definitely go over that and discuss that, because that's massive.
Hopefully they expand on what they've said here as well to make things a little bit clearer, because that's really confusing. God.
But another game that might tickle your fancy, especially if you're a Dark Souls fan, is Elden Ring. Oof. Yeah, that looks pretty awesome. Now, gotta be honest.
I'm in two minds with this game.
Really?
Yes. Now, not because I don't like Dark Souls games. Okay, I love Soulsborne. The whole idea of the Soulsborne franchise is cool. I enjoy it. I don't play it as much as I wish I should, but it's cool.
Yeah, and I'm supposed to be doing a Twitch, rather.
Oh, you about to get fucked?
Yeah, I'm about to get fucked. Yeah, I'm supposed to be doing a
Dark Souls
live stream on Twitch with Dark Souls. I've only ever played it like a handful of times, and I've actually enjoyed what I have done so far. But I have got to a point with Dark Souls 1 where I'm like, I thought I was really good and legendary, and I was like, I'm actually doing this. I'm nailing this. No, fuck, I'm dead.
Comes up against one thing and one hits you, you're like, well, I'm not as good as I thought I was.
You sort of laugh it off the first few times, and then eventually get so seriously into it that you just feel like you need to keep going. It's a really weird feeling it gives you. It pisses you off. but you love being pissed off.
It's annoying to the point you're like, I will kill it, I will kill it, I will kill it, I will kill it. It's killed me 19 times already, but I will fucking kill you, you bastard.
It's great. The whole feel that it gives you, it's just, I don't get it. I've never felt like that before.
But I think
where I've actually loved to be pissed off.
I don't want to be pissed off because I want to enjoy Elden Ring. And I've got a feeling I'm not going to. And obviously, being a From Software game, you're not getting anything that's different. Besides,
I think it looks incredible.
Maybe the entire game itself. The gameplay will be interesting. They're using the same engine they've been using since Dark Souls 2, possibly, Dark Souls 3. So I noticed that immediately from the hair physics that they've given your character, because they're ass.
Yes.
But if you like that sort of game, genre-defining gameplay, apparently, I don't think so.
I wouldn't say it's defining. It's definitely being done. I'm not going to deny that. That's why everyone keeps comparing it to Dark Souls. So that in its own right, because people are comparing it, obviously find a comparison. Well, it can't be.
The most immediate thing I noticed was obviously, like I say, the hair physics, and graphically, it basically is Dark Souls reskinned. And this is why I'm in two minds. I want to like it, and it does look good, and
it does.
It's going to be one of those games where you sit down and you go, I'm going to kill this fucking giant thing, no matter what, and how, and why. But I know I can't kill it, because why would I be able to? I'm literally level 1. And the story, the lore they've seemingly built for it, the story behind it, looks ace. Apparently you are some, like, soul, or like a lost soul, or someone that was in power at some point, and you have to become the Elden Lord. I assume it's to do with this ring the game is named after. Who knows?
I'm surprised that a little bit more wasn't mentioned about that other game that people again have been comparing to a Souls-like game, or Souls-like difficulty at least. As a game by Science Studios called Black Myth Wukong.
Oh, right.
Which is about basically the Monkey King. It's going back obviously through mythology and stuff like that. Yeah, it looks incredible. I've just been reading up again about it.
Initial release. Wow. Okay. So the initial release for that is 2023.
2023, yes.
Yeah, the Monkey King. I mean, I know a lot. I say I know a lot. I know a little bit about this Monkey King, because he's weird in the mythology and the Japanese lore, and obviously playing stuff like Samurai Warriors and the like. He's sort of one of the playable characters in that, under a different name, under the official Chinese name.
I was just kind of hoping that something more about that would have been released at this point in time, especially with E3. I thought maybe, we'd hear. We heard a bit about it at last E3, I do believe. I think it was featured. A little bit of gameplay was released, I think.
There is an official trailer and 13 minutes of gameplay online. So
there is, and it looks incredible. Even the gameplay is as sweet as Fook. I'm telling you, it looks incredible.
I mean, you'd probably want to, with Elden Ring, you probably want to go closer to like Ghost of Tsushima, in terms of open world. Maybe. I know that it's not the same, and it's slightly different, and it's obviously Ghost of Tsushima is... Again,
isn't there a second Ghost of Tsushima? There's talks going on, apparently, about the possibility of another one.
Apparently organising a Return to Tsushima event. So I assume the game has died. It's just what it seems. So I don't know. I don't know very much about what's gonna happen with that game.
I've heard that they're doing. There is a talk of a number 2 being in production, and obviously being written as we speak. That's all I know at this stage. There was talk about it, and I was like, ooh, because I was like, really? Because I love the first one. Ghost of Tsushima was just incredible. The best game of the year as far as I was concerned.
Well, apparently they've going slightly off topic again, but apparently they have, in fact, yes, hinted, and people are getting behind the idea that you will, in fact, play a female samurai next time. Well,
that would be epic.
Apparently, I did, because I didn't play the first game. I never
You
got around
need
to playing it.
to play it. You do not understand what you are missing.
I am aware, damn it, Dawn. I am aware. You
Seriously,
don't need to tell me these things. Do you want to send me a copy? That would be great.
And do you know what? Another thing as well. I mean, obviously, like, Keiran knows me when I'm in Final Fantasy 14, G-posing. Oh my god. G-pose.
Oh, the
love
G-pose. It's just G-pose for days.
Great. Pictures, take pictures, more pictures. Oh yeah, what move can I make? Oh yeah. You know, what glamour have I got? Well, you can do this in Ghost of Tsushima. And obviously, I think I've spent more time...
Story? What story? I didn't even know there was a story. What?
Yeah. I've spent more time posing and then doing like little cinematic poses where you can even do it. Oh, I can't even. I'll have to send you some of the copies of the photos that I've done.
I need to see those.
Honestly, it's legendary, and you get so hooked on doing it. I can't even explain. It's like, because the thing is, the game is so beautiful. And it's like you want to capture every little element of that, from the how can I put it, the atmosphere changes to the day to the nighttime changes, the sun going down, the sun coming up. It's it's just incredibly beautiful. Ooh. All of it.
And hey, hold up, I got to stop you. Apparently, SquareEnix.
What
have you done, SquareEnix?
What have I done?
Okay, I've got to get to the Twitter. So SquareEnix.
This is live, people.
This is recorded live as we speak. 25 minutes ago, they announced what lies ahead. Thank you for watching. Okay, that's a 2-minute video. So, introducing the Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. So we're getting something for... a new action RPG from the maestros at Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo, so the same guys that have done Samurai Warriors and such in the past. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be a Final Fantasy game. I'm going to have to watch that later. I'm going to pause that. They've also released information on a new Life is Strange remastered collection.
Yes, I was just catching that as I was literally popping in here and sorting out my gear to have a chat with yourself. Yes, it does look actually really good. I love Life is Strange personally, and I think it's one of those games that are, again, it's more of an interactive movie, what I call them.
They are. They're not games as such. They are.
No.
But they aren't. But it's. I don't like them.
It's the message. But... Look, it's the art style. And it's a message that they hand out at the end of the game. It's so powerful.
Holy shit.
I mean, the first one, there was moments where it makes you feel... you take a couple of, like, gut punches. And it really is hard hitting. You don't expect a game actually like that to be quite sinister in some ways as well. It's a bit of a shock. I haven't played the second one, though. And I haven't played that other one that came out as well with the two boys. I've got to play them. But I played the first one and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And what I like about their games as well is they're cheap. They're not expensive.
Yeah.
They're worthy of the money that they deserve. And they also support up-and-coming new musicians. So they actually put like new indie titles in the game, which is, again... I love that about them. They don't go out there searching for some big named person or this, that, or the other. They actually take little indie bands and they'll, aid them in growing, essentially. And I like that. I like that about them. And they're keeping it real, basically. So they had that respect from the start, and hopefully they follow that through with the rest of the games that they have up and coming as well. But it's obviously a franchise that's working for them. So
looking at the trailer here for the remastered, oh my god, it looks phenomenal. It looks like it's running in 60 FPS as well, so that's going to be awesome to play. What else have we got? We've got Babylon's Fall. There is a closed beta for PS5, PS4 and Steam. Looks like an action-adventure RPG Monster Hunter style game. There's literally a 6-second clip on Twitter, so can't really comment.
They were also showing a little bit of Final Fantasy 16 just as I left.
They have... Oh, hang on. I'm going to get to that in a second. So there is also a Final Fantasy 7, The First Soldier, coming soon to mobile, which looks like a third-person shooter mobile game.
I'm not sure how I feel about mobile gaming, gotta be honest, but hey, someone does it.
I'll download it because it's Final Fantasy, and I'm a fucking giant nerd for Final Fantasy games. Yeah. So I will make judgment when that arrives. I think it's coming this year. So yeah, available in 2021, iOS and Android. What else?
Well, they reckon that the whole kind of mobile gaming thing is massive in Japan. They reckon it's bigger than consoles.
Oh yeah, these you've got, especially with the big titles. I know Call of Duty have got their mobile game. Stuff like Fortnite, if you can play it, lol. Those sort of games that are easy to dip in and out of. They're pretty good. They've got Hitman Sniper: The Shadows. New Hitman game.
Nice.
So we're doing this quite quickly because there's a lot here. Oh boy, is there a lot here. Black Panther is on a mission to protect his home. But you won't have to do it alone. The Avengers and the people of Wakanda have his back. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
There is a 2-minute trailer here, which obviously I can't watch. I will watch and give my thoughts next time. We've got The Legend of Mana, another Legend of Mana.
Oh yeah, I want that game again. No, but the price point is absolutely ridiculous. So it's a no from me until it's cheaper.
We've also got the ultimate 2D remasters of the first 6 Final Fantasy games as the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster series coming soon to Steam and mobile. What? The first 6 games are coming to mobile as a remaster. That is fucking amazing.
What? Oh my god, I'm going to tell Alan. Yes. Alan's going to love this.
That's going to be awesome. So we've got the first 6. I've actually got Final Fantasy 6 on PlayStation 1 somewhere. So that's going to be awesome to relive that memory. We've also got Guardians of the Galaxy, game of the... Wait a minute. A single-player, story-driven, third-person action-adventure, original Guardians universe. Let's Flarkin go. Okay, I love the fact that it says Flarkin. That's amazing. And it's a Guardians of the Galaxy game, so I'm wondering how that's going to go. Releasing in October 26, 2021. Nice. There is another 2.5 minute video, so I'm gonna have to watch that. And I think I've caught up with the current. I'm just gonna refresh this page just in case.
You can tell this is live.
This is very live. Sorry, guys.
This is very live.
So yeah,
keeping it real here and on Geek.
Oh, wow, there we go. No, I've caught up. So we've got some amazing stuff from Square Enix. Dawn knows me well enough now to know that I am a fucking massive nerd for Square Enix games. Final Fantasy.
He is the biggest nerd I have ever met in my fucking life.
It's so good. Square Enix have touched the lives of many over the years, including mine. They've also touched me in very inappropriate places. We don't talk about those inappropriate places because, well, they're inappropriate. Final Fantasy 14. Just get out.
Me and Keiran are on Final Fantasy 14 all the time. So if there's anybody out there that plays Final Fantasy 14 and wants to join in with me and Keiran, obviously, we do have an FC. So by all means,
you can follow
keep in contact with us, and we'll show you the way. We'll guide you the way.
Cool. I think we've covered quite a lot here. Actually, I think we've covered quite a lot.
We have.
That's quite amazing.
We have been very hard at work.
Oof. That was very quick. That was like quick fire round at the end. I'm quite impressed with myself there.
Yes, well done. Congratulations.
Woo! Woo! Everyone round of applause. We did it. Yeah, we did it, guys. We did it. So I think at an hour and a half, you're probably bored of hearing us talk about E3.
Well, E3 is long and drawn out, and things keep coming out. Even as we're speaking now, there's more being announced. There's more things being said. So this is why we're going to break it down into possibly 2 or 3 more podcasts.
I think it's going to be at least 3 episodes.
You reckon?
I'm gonna have to watch some of these trailers that Square Enix have released.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sort of do and take some notes as well. The
big hype is hype. So anyway, do let us know what you think. Obviously, I don't know where the comments section exists. I don't think the comment section.
Wherever it may exist.
It may.
It will do on YouTube.
It will do, and you saying that, I will get this up on YouTube. So I will get also the first episode up on YouTube. So if you cannot listen anywhere else, we are now going to go on YouTube. I've been told. So, what else have we got to say? Oh, yes. Oh, and I know I forgot what I was going to say. No.
Oh, that's good.
I know what I'm going to say. We now have a mostly fully functioning Discord. Thank you to Dawn. Obviously, we said this in the last podcast.
Yeah, I kind of dropped it on you.
You just kind of, there you go, mic drop.
Like that.
So it's sort of functioning now. If you want to join, there is a link in the podcast description above. So do click that. It's valid for a while. So come join, come chat, come say hi. You can also find us on the old Facebooks, the Twitter, the YouTube, and the Twitch. Whatever your platform of choice may be, come and say hi. We don't bite.
Yes.
We are actually normal people, funnily enough. We just play one video game. We like to talk shit about other video games, but we play one video game.
Yes.
So, and
well, for the most part, we do anyway.
Do we? Wait. Yes, we do. And I think that's going to be it. Dawn, have you got anything else to add?
No, not really. For the most part, I mean, obviously, again, we can add more to the next podcast, but, I'm just starting to question how long E3 has, really.
I think that's going to be a closing statement in the last episode. I think, how long has it got left? We're going to leave that very open.
It just begs belief, really, that so many of these bigger companies, like I say, I mean, as we know, Nintendo, Sony, they're two people alone that have gone it alone. And I can't blame them. They don't really need it anymore. I think, again, I'm hoping that E3 will just start sort of focusing on indie game developers. That's what I think, and that's how I think the road should go when it comes to gaming. I think we need to start spreading the love a little bit more and spreading it equally, because it's just, we all know SquareEnix, we all know Sony, we all know this, we all know that. We don't need the big boys. But I think in this world of great turmoil amongst the big boys in the gaming world, we should all be thankful we have video games, and we now have this podcast to listen to two people rant about video games and talk utter bollocks.
For the
most part.
Yes, the utter bollocks. We do that quite well.
Yes.
So I think I need to get in the shower, which the podcast world didn't need to know, but they now do need.
Well, they now know. And they know. Haven't seen something they can't unsee. Or something.
Something.
How that's possible on a podcast, I don't know, but I suppose you can still visualize.
Please don't. It's
don't
not a pretty picture. We will be bringing more action from the E3 world that will have already ended by the time you hear the next episode, because I think it ends today, which is the 13th of June. So it is June, right? It's not July. I don't even know what month it is. Anyway, it's the day it ends. So
yes,
we're going to be recording again in a week. And we're going to have more. Dawn, before I keep talking, would you like to sign us out?
I'll sign us out. Yeah. So, of course, as you know, we are on other platforms as well, as Keiran has pointed out. So anything you want to, doesn't matter where you look for us, we're there. Usually under the name of Geekt, Geet. What am I thinking?
I mean, if you found the podcast, you already know how to spell geeked. It's Geekt. Geeked.
I'm really fucking this up right now. What is going on? I need a drink. So you can find us under Geeked, and of course, sometimes you can find us under the names like Geek Gaming. Just give us a shout and like us and love us wherever we may be. And of course, you can come back anytime to listen to the news, reviews, and interviews and everything across all things that are geeking and nerdy across all the spectrums right here at Geeked. So for now, I'm going to say, love you all. Ta-ta for now from me and Keiran.
Hoorah. Have fun.
Bye.
Yeah.